So
but like every
that means it's
all
working.
other like companies, like all of the companies outside of Apple uses Android. Samsung use Android, LG use Android, Motorola,
Yeah.
Google, like they all use an Android base. So the good thing about Android is, like I said again, it's very versatile. You can definitely put anything you want within Android and make it accustomed to you. If you want, there are apps that you can download to Android that will prevent these companies from going into your phone. Because here's the thing: if you got an Android phone, there is no option to turn that off.
Right.
No.
With Apple, when you download an app, and it's every app, it has to ask you, can we can we utilize your phone? Can we can we like attach a no?
I was to
And
say,
if,
yeah, and every
yeah,
app has an option. You can go in your settings and in your like privacy settings in your phone, not the app itself. So in your phone,
yeah,
you go through your main settings and it will give you access to every app. And you can go in every app that you have downloaded in your phone and it will say something as simple as like your location. Okay, so say I have like a lot. I used to go to TGI Fridays a lot. So TGI Fridays, or it could be in there, or Chipotle could be in there, and it would say, "Can we use your location all the time?" So
no,
that means that every time you're near, even near a Chipotle, it will pop up on your screen like, "Hey, you're near a Chipotle. Did you want to go in there? We got a coupon for your, something like that." You can deny access and say no. You can only access my location while
if
I'm
I'm using
actually
it,
using the app.
yeah,
So I would have to actually open that app. And then you can even deny it altogether. Like my Starbucks app, I don't give them access to know where I'm at all unless I type in a zip code.
yeah.
Mhm.
So um, you can go through every app and it says, do you want this? Do you want to use this all the time? Only while the app is open or never. And you can
Whatever.
decide
Yeah,
which apps you want to have access to what part of your information in your phone.
yeah.
So
Interesting. Huh.
as
Because
much as
phone, yeah. Because remember, like phones is listening to you.
Oh, I
So like
know.
even with like yeah, so even like I said, us having that conversation about like the culinary school and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, they're listening. We got,
Yeah,
and like I said, I don't want to turn it off because I want to make my agents work for their money.
it's
So
AI.
my
It is
well,
an
agent,
AI. It
my
is not a
agent that's
person.
working, my
You
agent
are
that's
not
working.
frustrating anyone.
well,
Huh?
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Jay. Now you got to understand the reason why this is happening, and the reason why like a lot of this thing is happening, and it's also a reason why social media is free. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
reason
yeah.
why all social media sites are free.
We're the
Data,
advertisement.
yeah, data is one of the most lucrative things that corporate can gain from us. And the dangers of that is not the companies themselves. The company themselves is not. They're not. You don't have to worry about the companies actually having the information about you. That's not the issue. The issue is though that they're easily hacked.
Yeah.
They are easily hacked. When you get these data breaches, the
Oh
reason why
yeah.
it's such jarring and scary because everybody who can access these, hell, the government itself is easy to hack.
Yeah. It's
The
easy.
government websites
Well,
is
yeah, we
easy
saw
to
that
fucking
when a
hack.
14-year
Yeah,
old did it.
yeah. So I mean, like I said, it don't take a fucking rocket scientist to know how
Oh
to do
no.
it. I mean, you just need to know the basics of how software works in order to get
That's
in
all you
order
got to
to
know.
be able to get into the back door.
Oh,
The most I would say this, the most secure thing out there is Apple. And like I said, the unfortunate thing of that is the relinquish of you having the ability to customize your own phone. Like
Hmm.
that's like I definitely said I just got an iPhone. Like I was all Android all the way up until this point where I got an iPhone 13. Um, I wanted to get one just to see how just see what's all the hype about. I want to see like why do people love Apple so much? Like I'm talking the general populace
right.
because like I said in the tech community, like yeah, you got people that have Apple in the tech community, but at the same time, people who are in the tech, they really don't care for Apple because it's what you can't do with Apple. But I can definitely understand why Apple is so big with consumers because they have everything for you and you don't have to think about anything. Once you
No, the
open up
average
that phone,
person
Yeah, like
I mean, I used to know my credit card numbers. Let me give you an example. I used to know my credit card number because I used to type them in so much when I was making purchases. The fact that I can save all of that information in my phone and I can go on any website right now and go to make a purchase, and all of my information is right there, easily accessed. All I got to do is put my fingerprint to it,
yeah,
and I can easily, and that's the only reason I still have an iPhone 8 is because I don't want to give up my fingerprint access. The only thing I don't trust about Apple at this point is them wanting to use facial recognition to unlock and use your phone. I don't like that shit.
yeah. They have that for everything. The facial recognition
And
thing.
I don't, and
Yeah,
I only reason I will not get a new iPhone is because they are fighting against putting a fingerprint recognition on their new phones, and
yeah.
they
They don't
have
have
a
those.
large customer base who is saying, "Please bring that back." Please bring it back. And Apple is fighting bringing it back for whatever reason. I think it's simply because they don't want to work with other companies. They haven't figured out a way to work with the other companies who have had that fingerprint recognition under screen because they've done away with the notch, where you had the notch and the button on the phone. They've done
Yeah,
away with that. But that was where they held their fingerprint recognition. It was right there in that little notch. Now they've done away with it. They're like, well, we have to do it under screen. And, with them having all the other shit that they have in a phone, it's like, well, how are we going to fit that in and work with the other companies that are giving us access to their technology, blah, blah, blah. The only thing I don't care for is the facial recognition because I feel like that is a segue into the future of where we're going. You're gonna walk into a store and in your Black Mirror episode, I wish I could figure out which one it was, but you're gonna walk into
I
a
know. I
store
know
pretty
exactly what
soon.
episode you're talking about.
You're gonna walk into a store pretty soon. It's gonna pick up on your face and it's gonna say, "Hi, welcome. Hi Kelly, welcome to Old Navy."
Yeah,
I don't want that. And I know that when it comes to being a person of color, we're the ones that unfortunately fall short with facial recognition because it's not able to pick up on dark features very well. That's how we're able to be mistaken so well that's how we get mistaken identity a lot with facial recognition and people
hmm
of color.
All right. Well, you guys with iPhones, you guys will have much more time to talk about all the iPhones amongst yourselves when you're all living in that 105-mile long city, while people like me will be living on the outskirts, living like Mad Max because we're Android users. There we
Who the fuck?
I'll tell you,
Look,
I
that
like
might be the
Android.
one time I decided to say, you know what? Because as
Eating a
nice
can
as
of
that looks,
beans while you guys
it
are
looks
eating
cool.
the
Don't get me
finest of
wrong.
pheasant.
It looks cool, but I don't want to be that close to nobody. I don't want to be that close to
Yeah,
people. I really don't.
Well, you guys will be eating the finest of pheasant from
especially
all the graduates from the
especially
School
work.
of Escoffier, School of Culinary Arts.
All
I would say,
look,
I would
the
say,
best of the computer generated food out there.
yep,
Making you got a computer generated food
yep.
that's built off of the what's it the virtual reality,
The virtual
the
food
VR, yeah, VR
the
food,
VR
VR
food
food.
that's created out of a 3D printer.
And I'm not promoting Escoffier School of Culinary Arts because I don't know what it is. First of all, there's no such thing. You cannot do a culinary school online. I've never heard of that before.
No, what the
It
hell?
sounds like a scam.
Look, I felt the same way when COVID hit and I needed to redo my CPR certification. They were like, "You can do it online." I'm like, "Where, sir? That don't even sound right." So I just got to press the right key 30 times as if I'm compressing on a person's chest.
Please watch the
No.
video.
There's certain things that you can't do online or that I feel you should not be able to do online.
Well, that's one of them. You shouldn't be able to do that.
No, you need to know
See,
how you need to be on that mannequin and feel what it feels like to actually press down on somebody's damn chest. Because you're gonna be that takes work. I need you to be in the room when the instructor makes you bust into a damn little forehead sweat because you had to press on that mannequin for 30 times until the red light came on and said that his heart was pumping again.
yeah, it was like that.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them, depending on the mannequins that you use and
Well, like
which
you said,
program.
yeah. If you ain't breaking ribs, the whole thing that I learned is if you ain't breaking ribs, you ain't doing it right. So
No, and you need to know what and most of the mannequins that they have you use, well, they not most. The mannequins they have you use will give you that feeling of pressing down on somebody's body and what that hard work feels like. And some of the modern ones have indicators like little red lights or green lights on them that will say when you've been pushing hard enough, when you haven't pushed hard enough, um, to be able to actually get that person's heart to jump, to kickstart that person's heart again.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you got to go down. It depends, but it's a lot of work. If you heard of the song of the Bee Gees, "Staying Alive," that's the beat. That's the rhythm you're supposed to
That's
go
the
to.
rhythm. Yeah, it actually is.
While you're trying to give somebody CPR and pumping on their chest, you're also singing the Bee Gees. Well, you can tell by the way I used to walk. I was a little man. Ah, 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 ah. Staying
I thought that was funny when someone made that
Yo.
correlation, and now people actually use it.
Could you see that shit, yo?
Yo.
Speaking of staying alive, there's one more thing though. Like I said, there was a super moon a couple days ago.
It
So
was
Oh,
Thursday night.
that means the moon people are getting closer to us.
nah. Yo,
Don't
the
look,
I'm
don't
serious.
joke
It's
with
moon.
me
called.
because
It's
I was
called.
that was
These
because
people are
that was
called. I'm telling you,
me.
these people are
Okay,
called the sturgeon. They're called the
don't do that because
sturgeon moon
I was one
people.
of those people Thursday night that I sat my crystals out in the moonlight so
See,
my
there you
crystals could
go.
be
See,
recharged and cleansed. Don't come for me,
No, I'm
okay?
not. I'm not coming for people with crystals. I respect people with the crystals and the stones and stuff like that. I
In my
do.
yes, I did my
As
meditation
long as you
cleanse
don't
with
have a crystal
stones.
ball. Do you have a crystal ball?
Uh, all right. I mean, I don't know if this is really
JCJ,
considered.
we started shit.
Now
Okay, it's
she's
not
Madame
really a
Ruby.
crystal ball. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hold on. So I do have a glass ball, but what it was initially purchased for was for photography. I don't. If you can go Google it right now and look up photography globe.
No,
Okay.
actually,
Basically,
I see one of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
yes. And so it's a globe that basically just kind of makes a delusion, like things look upside down, things look backwards.
Oh,
And
okay.
I
All right.
initially bought it out of fun. So when I take photos when I'm out in nature and stuff like that. But it does make a pretty little decorative piece. So right now it is sitting on my bookshelf on a stand next to my crystals, next to my marble pyramids. Yeah, so it's a nice
Okay.
little
All right.
crystal
That's
pyramid
not what I.
setup.
That's fine. That's fine. Because if it was a crystal ball like how I'm thinking, we would have to
No,
change the name from
Well,
Recovering Kelz to Madame Ruby.
yeah.
no, it's not quite like that. No, this is actually something that was meant to take pictures with.
You're looking
And like I said,
for a
instead of just leaving
bicycle.
it sitting in a box, it does look nice. It came with a little stand. So yeah, it's sitting there like my little incense burner, my crystals. I had two marble pyramids, and yeah, it's just sitting there.
All right.
A nice little setup.
No, that's cool. That's cool. But like I said, the moon plays a huge part of our life, and that's why we were acting. That's why people was acting so damn crazy, even more crazier than usual. I think that's why they're acting a little bit crazy now. I think the moon's is getting closer and closer. What was that movie?
Oh,
Well, the
damn.
Earth is spinning faster, so
Yeah.
we got that. Then we have the glaciers melting, and we're getting flooding every fucking where. We had flooding in D.C., flooding in what's Tennessee, flooding in Las Vegas,
Yeah, it was another one.
Yeah.
There was
flooding in
another one.
Texas.
It was another one in Vegas. But here's the thing:
Yeah,
it,
that's
it
what
was the
I said. We
flooding
just
in.
had one in Vegas over the past couple of days. Then we
Yeah.
had DC flooded a couple of days ago. So I don't know if you've ever looked at this map. It's supposed to be a map of the new United States, like once the glaciers melt and
Here we
you know
go. Flat Earthers,
what
people. Here we go. No, I'm just saying.
no, but basically Texas, California, Florida,
It's
some
Mexico
parts
again.
of Atlanta, some parts of like Arizona. That whole basically the from the west coast down to the south and some more and
Mm-hmm. Oops, think we lost her.
Eh,
That's the agent.
Oh, man. Trying to.
Uh-oh, see? Recovering Kelz was
some
trying to drop some knowledge and the agent cut you off.
see floodwaters. Let me see if I can pull that up and show y'all.
They cut you off a little bit. You was in the middle of dropping some real good gems.
What, y'all couldn't hear me?
No, you
Nah,
got
nah,
cut
you
off. You
dropped
got cut
out.
off. You dropped.
Oh shit.
You dropped for about a good
Okay.
20 seconds. That's what we like. Yeah,
Okay.
the agents. You think they not what? You think they're not listening? You was about to drop some information saying that when this flood happened and Noah comes down
So
on this raft
but you can pull it.
and all
But you
that.
can pull it up now. You can look up floodwaters, like future floodwaters of America, like the glaciers melting or whatever. But it shows you what America will look like in the future if we don't once the floodwaters really take over and the glaciers like really break down and melt, how much of America will be underwater.
Okay, well here we go. The shocking doomsday map of the
That's what it
world
was called. Doomsday Map. Thank you.
and the billionaire escape plan. Here we go. Ah,
You're
Oh
looking at
shit.
I'm not looking at no billionaire escape plan.
here
Doomsday
we
Map.
go.
That's what it was called. I was trying to remember what it was called.
Here we go. So pretty much everything that used to be Mexico is going to be drowned out because they don't want the Mexicans to get it back.
You know what?
I'm serious. Hey,
Yeah.
look at the old map. You see how this shit changes every couple hundred years, right? Texas,
Yeah.
all that stuff, all the way
But
up
you know
to
what's still
California,
there?
all the way up to the heartland is still there. You got your
Oh, I'm about to say,
Oklahoma,
I'm about to tell you, I was waiting for
got your
you to
good old. You got
recognize
the
that. You see
Mississippi,
who's still there?
and Alabama is still there. The two worst states. Sorry, the two worst states that tried to be countries at some point. They are the most socially backwards,
But
but
go a little more east.
they're still there.
Go a little more east.
West Virginia is
Africa,
still there.
most of Africa is still
Oh,
there.
I'm looking at the
In
U.S.
Europe,
map. I didn't see the.
But
I got to look at the whole map. Wait a minute.
yeah, look at the whole map. You could
I
still
was just looking at the I was just looking at the U.S. map.
Australia, Austria, still most of that's still there. Most of Africa survives.
Now how the hell is
Europe,
Australia not underwater?
Europe is gone though. Europe is out of there.
Oh yeah.
Europe is out of there.
Wow.
Parts of Asia is out
The
of there.
Yakubians are done, so that's good.
You're gonna have them coming banging on your door soon. Mr.
Well, no,
Mr. Shenanigator.
no, no, but you see, we're
Can we
talking,
talk
we're
to you?
talking, and see, you understand, we're talking in code, so nobody understands Yakubian. Those that do know, you know. But
What do they mean by that?
what does he mean by Yakubian? He's speaking voodoo. I hate Pinterest. I don't want to create an account. And it's written in Russian. I'm definitely not going to sign on to that.
It's written in
You
Russian.
see, the agents count. They see. They said a good part of Africa is underwater, except for the middle part. A good chunk
Yeah,
of the middle
well, the
part.
middle part and the east coast of Africa is still there.
Yeah,
Pretty much
just
Africa.
a
So pretty
slither.
much Africa looks almost like an island. Like
And
so, there's a
northern
center.
Africa is completely destroyed. So that means they completely took off that bridge that connects anything.
Yeah, you know how? Oh, because white people didn't. I'm sorry, certain people didn't want to believe that Egypt was a part of Africa.
Oh no, it's some country in Sweden.
No, I'm just talking about when they
That's
tried
recent.
to separate Africa. Like they tried to say that this was back in the '90s when they first tried to separate certain parts of Africa and Europe
Oh yeah,
and Asia from each other, and it was like that part has always been Africa. How are you trying to say it's not Africa now? But that's
yeah.
something. But
Hey,
yep, Australia is mostly still
but
there.
who
I
comes
guess what
up
is
with
this,
this
Austria?
doomsday map? You got the doomsday clock. Like who comes up with this shit? It's the 11th hour. So it's
No,
supposed to
let
be
me
the
tell.
11th
Look,
hour.
when you have scientists willing to lose their jobs, lose basically their 150, 200, $300,000 a year income, they're risking that to let people know how bad our climate is. When you have scientists who are on television, on camera, crying, pleading for people to understand where our earth is headed, that's a serious problem. So
But
I
that
understand that on
big
some way, like
corporations though.
having the title Doomsday, and it just kind of sounds like, oh, whatever, because we've been conditioned to a point to not even listen to this. I mean, we've been
We are
told
a
Doomsday
hundred
is a long
seconds to
time.
midnight.
This thing.
What the fuck?
But
These
I
scientists,
believe
they
how I
know.
do believe our Earth is in a fucked up place. Like, so someone did a comparison on YouTube. I think it was YouTube where the movie. I hated it though. I did not care for the movie at all. But Don't Look Up. So the movie Don't Look Up, and they compared the scene where the scientist was sitting there with the newscasters, and the newscasters was trying to make jokes about everything because oh, we just like being lighthearted here, and they're making jokes. And meanwhile, the scientist is telling them like, no, we really have a problem, and they're not paying attention because the newscasters are just conditioned to not really take any of this shit seriously. And they put the Don't Look Up movie scene right next to an actual real newscaster and scientist interview, and was pretty much verbatim with each other.
Oh, they spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe
Where
it.
the scientist is like, I'm really trying to tell you guys that we have an issue. And it's always like, oh, so what are you saying? Like, what we need to do? We need to start packing up and making fun. And it was like all jokes and stuff. And it was just like, bitch, y'all really
Well,
not listening.
that's the microcosm.
Yeah.
Because honestly, what can you do? We the Earth don't need saving. We're the ones that need fucking saving because
This is true. It ain't
The
on
Earth is about to hit the reset. The Earth
Earth
is hitting
on
the
Earth.
reset button. It's been
The
here.
Earth on Earth.
The Earth has been here billions of years before we got here. It's gonna be here billions of years afterwards, and it's gonna
Yep.
shake us off like some dogs, like some fleas on dogs, because that's what it damn sure did to the dinosaurs. They thought they was big and bad, and they ain't here no more.
You know what? And that's funny. I just saw a girl do when we got off when we got off last night. I jumped on, no, got a shower, jumped on TikTok for a little bit, and this girl, I saw a video where she talked about the meteor and when it hit the Earth and how basically it took the dinosaurs out, and 75% of life on Earth ended because there was a there was basically a dust cloud of ash that lasted years until it all settled and the burning stopped. And there's evidence of this, and people say, well, people who try to say that the meteor didn't hit Earth, it does. I'm like, go to fucking Mexico. Have you? If you're wondering where it landed, it's in Mexico. You can go there right now. And when you're in the cenotes, swimming around and enjoying these beautiful caves, how the hell do you think that cave got there and that deep? It was from the meteor that hit the Earth hundreds of billions of years ago. It
Yeah.
took the fucking dinosaurs out.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Yeah.
Somebody actually sat and made up the dinosaur sound. Like, how the hell do you know how a dinosaur sounds?
Yeah.
It's all an imitation. Like, I mean, or
What
it's
somebody
all
thought. You
perspective.
know what? I think
They
a dinosaur sounds like rawr. So I'm just gonna say that.
Well,
'Cause I
no,
just-
it comes from when they dig up. You have to think when they what do the people call that pull up bones and stuff like that.
Geologists.
Archaeologists.
Yes. So when they do that and they are able to look at the bone structure, they compare bone structure to animals that we have now, how they sound based on the size of the vocal box. That's they making comparisons. So it's not just all guesswork in some ways. It is like they're comparing, well, if this animal sounds like this and this bone structure is this way and this dinosaur's bone structure seems to be very, very similar and close to that, however, it was a little bit bigger or whatever. That's how they're coming up with how a dinosaur may have sounded in that time.
We can say that Jurassic Park, pretty much, the movie Jurassic Park, pretty much
Jurassic Park
compromised
destroyed.
what.
Jurassic Park destroyed all of that shit, man. They just took sounds from all animals and just jumbled it all together.
Yes, they did.
There you go.
Yes, they did. And people actually, I'm about to say, people were actually able to prove that, like, no, that is not what that sound. That was actually a current animal that we have now.
Yeah.
I think one of the craziest freaking sounds I've heard was from some bird. Oh God! Oh, my body is so sore.
Well, they did. Well, they did say that. Like I said, like the dinosaurs, like they're basically birds now. Because they like T Rex, like really didn't have like it wasn't like a lizard, like it was more like had feathers.
Yeah. But you know what? The only thing that
I don't
survived,
understand about.
the only thing that survived it and that we hate the most is the roach, and they survived all that shit.
Oh no! Wait a minute!
And we
Wait.
hate the fucking roach, and we hate
Yeah,
roaches. I'm telling you, no, I'm talking people as a whole hate roaches,
yeah.
but they're the only ones that survive instead of studying their ass. Come on.
Oh,
Excuse
geez.
me, Mister Cockroach.
So they
How
say
did
that
you
How the hell
survive
did you
this nuclear
survive all of
blast?
this shit? Out of all the things that
what
left,
about the iguana? Isn't that one of the like
Well, the
surviving dinosaurs?
a
Iguanas,
horseshoe
rhino,
crab.
with a horseshoe
horseshoe
crab,
crab.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, the horseshoe
Well,
crab
like I said,
is
I was actually surprised to
the
find
water is
out that.
completely different because the water is like there was they said that there was a shark down there that they saw that was over 1 million years old that's still floating around down there.
man.
Well, shit.
Yeah,
How about they just realized that some of what they thought was the ocean bottom wasn't the ocean bottom? There's a
yeah.
whole nother level
Yeah,
down there.
I don't
They
think I
was
would
like,
want
you
to go
thought that
down
was the
there.
bottom because it was so dark, and it's like, nope, it's not dark. No, that was just a
It's
layer of sediment and fish. There's still more water down there.
and I think there's some things that ain't meant to be looked after.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Like that damn box that they just found, and you
Oh,
talk
the
about let the
game.
games be
That's
played.
right. They found it.
Man, if you
A
don't
four.
put that
They found a
motherfucking
four
controls
thousand.
across
Wait a minute.
there.
Here you
Wait, what
go.
happened?
They
Hold on.
found a four. It was a 4,000-year-old game that was found, and
Fuck out of here.
and
Supposedly
What?
a game.
and
You see the monkey?
it's an ancient 4,000-year-old game, like a board game. And they're looking for the instructions on how to play the game. I was like, we just
See?
opened up. We ain't finished this game that we started 2 years ago called COVID.
Look, somebody said, yo, we've been in the longest game of Jumanji right now. Can y'all wait? This is the longest game of Cooties and Jumanji. We got holes and portals opening up in the ground. We got
Yep. So we
sinkholes
got
across the
Ouija's, we
fucking
got
globe. We
Ouija
got
board
flooding
games, all that
happening.
stuff.
We coming up with new animal diseases and shit. And y'all worried about playing some new damn game that y'all
Some
found? Put
four
it back.
thousand year
Put it
old
back.
game found. Throw it
Put
back
the
in the
shit
ocean.
back.
Throw it back in the ocean.
Uh,
See, this is why we need more black archaeologists. If there's anybody out there listening, go down to University of Penn. They have a great archaeological program down there. I need to go sign up for it because we need more. We need more black Indiana Joneses. I'm telling you.
You ain't fucking lying, man. Put it back.
Yeah, we need
Put it
more.
back.
We need more Khalif Joneses out there.
Look,
That
how
are
about the fact that they
Tamika
opened up
Joneses. Right?
to they found new mummified bodies in Egypt, and then they thought, oh, we're going to open this up. Put it back.
No,
We
no.
don't
You know
need
what? No,
more shit.
let them open it up because it ain't for them. Our inheritance is in there. So the reason why that they're getting cursed is because they ain't the ones that's supposed to be opening it up. We get down there, we can probably open it up
All right,
because it's
they
meant for
getting
us.
cursed, but we live next to them. Okay, we can't. We still
No,
live right next door.
but if they get cursed, that affects them. That don't affect us. And then
I
we
wish
get
I could believe that.
it,
I wish I could believe that.
yeah. With like you said, when things are meant for us, it won't affect us in that way. It affects us in the right. We just don't realize that it's for us, which is why none of this shit is working. That's why we go down there. That's why we can't. That's why if more of us went down into those pyramid of Gizas down there, more things would happen positively for us because our inheritance is laying in there, but it's
You're
for
right
us.
because we know. Look, I feel that like when they say a lot of times, black people. I feel like there's a lot of things that black people have been conditioned not to do. Like the whole joke, black people don't go in no water. We were swimmers. Fuck that.
yeah.
We were swimmers. How the fuck did we survive years? You mean to tell me we were just eating fruits and berries the whole damn time? We never went fishing? Shut up. I don't believe that.
And
So I believe
what's in
that we are definitely.
the water that's so beneficial or that gets them so scared to tell us that we can't swim so that we don't go near water. What's in there
I
that's
don't think.
beneficial towards us? That's in there.
No, I think that came from the mindset of slavery and that so many of us took ourselves out in the ocean. Like how many slave or enslaved people jumped ship to save themselves from going to America. That's another conversation. I'm not going to go there. I think that it's just a stigma that we have been taught because they didn't want us to have certain luxuries. I mean, remember that they didn't have pools in our neighborhoods. We weren't allowed to go swimming.
But they
That's
still
where I
don't.
feel that the whole black people don't like water thing came from. I think more than anything, people of color, not just black, I think Indian, Asian, we know how to respect nature. We
Yeah.
know how to leave it the
Hmm.
fuck alone sometimes and let nature show us the way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to us exploring, I do believe we were explorers. I just think that we respected nature in a way that Europeans cannot.
Oh no, yeah.
They are
We respect
you.
it.
I think I told you when we worked together. If you ever want to see how some white men truly treat nature, watch this show on Discovery called Naked and Afraid. When these people are put out in nature to survive for 30 or 21 days by themselves with just the one tool and they're naked, when I tell you I have watched these white men literally try to tear down every bit of nature that they could because the earth was put when I literally heard one of these men say, like a woman was asking him to please leave a bird nest alone because they were looking for materials to start a fire. And he wanted to rip down this bird's nest. And she said, "But if you rip down the bird's nest, then the babies will have nowhere to go. I'm sure we can find some other way." And he was so pissed at her because he's like, pretty much Earth was put here for me, and I'm here to take as much of it as I can, as long as I can. That was his mindset. He was like, I don't care. I will burn down and cut down everything for my survival.
Oh,
Sir,
but that's in real time. Yeah. Like I
realize
said,
that you cutting down everything for your survival means that you will then, in the end, not survive
they don't care.
because there's nothing left.
They don't care, and then they'll just eat each other or destroy each other. People like that are the parasite.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People like that are the parasite. And like I said, I've never seen that show Naked and Afraid, but we could watch it out here in real time. Remember when they used to turn around and
Did you?
remember the
Yeah.
old commercial about littering, and they used to have the guy who threw the litter out on the out in the freeway, and the Indian would be crying, the Native American would be crying,
Oh
Yeah.
no, I never
stuff
saw
like that.
that.
Yeah.
Oh
That
yeah,
was back
yeah,
in the
yeah.
day.
You gotta
Yeah. It's an
see. Yeah,
old
it's back in the
commercial.
day, and now all of a sudden, they want to be all earth conscious and stuff like that. No, 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 no. You gonna atone for that, and then everybody
Look,
else. Oh no, take you know. Oh man, come on, be
look, I
aware,
mean,
be
you're right. It
conscious.
happens now. A woman complained that her neighbor, she had blackberries. So her and her neighbor share like a backyard, like an open field backyard, open space, natural space. And one of her neighbors saw her outside in the bushes one day, and he asked what she was doing, and she was like, "I'm just picking blackberries," because there were some naturally wild growing blackberries out there, right? So she just takes a few for whatever she wants and needs them for, and that's it. The next day she came outside, her neighbor's roommate was out there with Ziploc bags full of blackberries. She said he didn't leave one berry behind. The neighbor's roommate literally went through the whole freaking patch on two sides of the yard and pulled all of it up. Because for what, sir? You gonna eat them all in one sitting? She was like, he had like 3 or 4 bags
Oh, that's
of
their history.
Ziploc bags full of berries, and he was still picking.
That's their history. I
Yep.
need to taste
There was an
fruit.
Indian that said that, I think it was in Colorado or something like that, that they had to ban people from taking leaves or bushes from this particular forest because people found out that if you steamed it or if you brewed it, it helped with the common colds. But what happened was that when everybody found this out, people came out there and started scavenging for it and left nothing behind. Like they weren't just taking what they needed, they were
Yeah.
taking it all. To
Wow.
the point that the state had to pass a law where now you can't even take one leaf out of the forest. You can't take nothing
Well,
because you don't know how to take what you only are going to use. You want to take it all.
that's been the mo for the longest time. I'm just gonna take what more than what I need because I just don't want anybody else to have it.
But
This is why this,
I
this
really want to know where that European mindset, like, how did that start? Because I feel like in no other culture and no other ethnicity do you see that pattern of behavior.
well
Because white folks
I'm not
have
gonna get
always
in. I'll get into this off. I'll get onto this off mic, but there is a definite history lesson here that I could get into. All of my 5%ers know what I'm talking about. But like I said, we'll get into that off camera. But like I said, the mindset stems from a long, long time ago when 40 or 35,000 years ago, 40,000 years ago, when they were us and turned white and got kicked
Well,
out
yeah,
because
I
of
know that process. I know that story,
but
one
but as
person
the
hating their
further
own
like I
kind
said the
and
further
decided,
north but like I said the further north that you moved, the lesser the resources were.
oh, okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I see
You know,
that.
the further north you move, because like I said, they were used to a climate where everything was abundant. But now you're going up north, you're moving northern, further north where the climate changes. They never experienced that. It means there's less resources. They never experienced that, which means they have to come across different types of uh, materials and things like that. You have to account for all that. And it's just like
Right.
what yesterday when you were talking about the psychology of a move. You remember we talked about this
Yeah, I
yesterday?
do.
Yeah, we talked about the psychology. You explained the psychology of a move. This the same dynamic. Same this
Okay.
the same dynamic. The psychology of a move. So naturally, when you get into a and like I said, this is beyond. This is way before race and all that stuff was created. At this point, it
Yeah,
was just
absolutely.
you have
I mean,
your
this was
you have
actually,
your
if you want to say anything, this was the beginning of creating race, because
this is the
ultimately
beginning of
that those
creating
are the
tribe.
people who
It's more so
that
tribe. It was more so tribe. So this is the beginning of creating tribe. So now I have my tribe. I in this tribe we're going up, but we're moving up north. But the resources are less. I cannot share. This is a human thing now. So in order for me to attain my thing, because I have to survive and I need to survive, I cannot share with you. So if you have more than I do, I'm just going to take from you.
is that like eBay for your computer or for your
What's that?
son?
This? Oh
I'm
no,
sorry, I'm
this.
off subject. I just hear the cha-ching and I'm looking at it, it says PC Bay. So I was like, is that
Yeah,
like an eBay for
yeah.
your
It's supposed to be like an eBay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
My bad. I
this
didn't
is
mean to cut
no, no.
you
You
off,
good. You
Jay.
good. This is why. But like I
No, but
said,
that makes sense. I see that. So like because I like getting in the discussion with people when they try to say that certain okay, so they say racism is taught. It's not it's a learned behavior. You're not born that way. And I was like, there's a bit of an argument there because you know certain animals, for instance, if you're just talking about wild animals, wild game, natural nature, whatever, some animals are born with natural instincts, right? There are things that they learn from their parents or their I guess you call them their parents. But there are certain things that through nature, through repetition, they're just naturally born with an instinct to do. Like for instance, when sea turtles are buried in the sand, as soon as they hatch, their first instinct is to go straight for the water. No one told them that they had to go in the water. No one trained them to
yeah,
go into the water.
and that's called
Their
innate.
natural
Yeah.
instinct from history, from generation, is we need to go in the water right now to
Yeah.
survive.
Those are what you call innate instincts, and every living thing on this
And
planet
what right? And
has
when you
that.
say every, that includes human beings.
Yes, because like I
And
said,
I
when a
do.
baby's like I said, perfect example of an innate instinct. When a baby's born, when you start breastfeeding the baby
Knows
automatically
how to do
knows.
it right. It just naturally knows
Automatically,
that that's what I'm supposed to
it's
do.
innate. It's innate. Yeah. So everything on
So,
this planet does have an innate uh, uh, instinct.
and scientists even tested this theory by, I thought they used something like, I know they used something like cherry blossoms and mice or whatever, but nonetheless, they noticed that, let's just fast forward through the experiment. They noticed that once the mice started to reproduce, the offspring knew that cherry blossoms, if they like, if they ate the, or went towards the cherry blossoms, that would trigger them to get food. So it started to show that even through generation, that the offspring started to have reactions to the cherry blossoms, just like its parents did. They had not been trained, they had not been conditioned to whatever the scientists were exposing them to, but they showed the response that they wanted. So it started to show that through generations, through offspring, what certain behaviors become natural instincts over time. So when I hear people say that, hatred and racism is not taught, everyone isn't taught that. In some cases, you're right. In some cases, you're right. But I do believe that in certain situations, but depending on whatever that genetic line leads, some people are just born fucking evil. Just like some people are born with bipolar disorder, some people are born evil. That's how we ended up with serial killers like we did in the 50s and 60s. These people were born off.
Chemical imbalances.
Their brain chemical
Yeah.
was
There are
never
chemical imbalances. Yep.
whatever experiment, look, whatever chemicals were floating around in the air back then produced some of the worst serial killers we had ever seen, even till today.
Well, that's one of the worst time periods, and I don't know why it's heavily replicated. Is the Renaissance era? I hate that. It's a dirty, filthy, uh, just a bad era. When you look back at when you read back on the history of it, it's horrible. But yet, it's heavily replicated.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't get it. I would never
They,
go to a Renaissance fair. You heard that? Shenanigator J would never go to a Renaissance fair.
I've been to one just for, I ain't gonna lie, I went just to get a turkey leg. I just wanted to see what that shit was like. Um,
How was it?
it wasn't bad. It wasn't
It should
bad.
have been
Probably
nothing.
could have used a little more salt, but that's okay.
There was no
they
salt in that
they
in
they
that in
had no
that in that
seasonings back then.
there was no salt in that region. It was
I
only
kn-
in northern
yeah, they
Africa
were
they got
they were too
introduced.
far.
Now
They were
here's the
too
thing.
far inland
The
to know what
correction.
salt
The only thing
was.
I would do, I would go to a Renaissance fair dressed as a Moor. If you know, you know. I would go dressed as a Moor and then take over the whole motherfucker. That's what I would do. I would introduce them to seasoning.
Look, I just learned how to make sea salt, like naturally make sea salt. I was like, now that I know, shit, that I might never buy salt again as long as I can go to an ocean,
Yeah,
as
there you
long as I
go.
can get to the water.
There you go. Hey, but this is
But
why. But overall, this is why we need more black archaeologies. So, if you're listening, University of Penn has a great anthropology archaeology bachelor's of the arts program.
hey, look, shit,
Sign
your
up.
evenings are freedom. Your evenings are free now. You could always go and take up another minor, another major, and
I could.
explore your options there.
I honestly could. I could be a anthropology and archaeologist. Yes, I
You
could
sure
be.
you've already taken all the you pretty I'm pretty sure you've taken most of the prerequisites already
Wait a minute. Wait a
for
minute. Wait a minute. I'm on here now. Let me take a look. Let me take a look.
that.
Uh,
All right. So I would go for. I could get a
All right, hold on, let me mute
PhD.
my
I could
mic.
get a
Let
I
me
could
mute,
get a
hold on.
PhD in this. So pretty
I'm
much, wait a
muting.
minute. All right, so it's a 14 credit major. That's cool. 14 credit major that intersects with programs and departments across the university.
Wow, wait a minute, just 14 credits? That's it?
Students
I
may
would
major in anthropology as a whole, which is general anthropology, or choose to concentrate in biological, archaeological, cultural, and linguistic.
I would go for cultural, but that's just me. I've
I
always found
I want to go into whichever one I can go into a museum and just start taking shit because it doesn't belong to them. It's stealing. Technically, they stole it. The shit don't belong to them either.
look, there's a man in Africa that started he has a display up, but the museum display or the art display, it's all signs. All of it is just signs because basically he is describing the art that was stolen from his people. And within the display, I even think it tells you where the art is. So the whole point of it was to try to encourage the public to know um, about where the art is, who stole it, where it's currently, where it's currently sitting, and see if they can get the art back.
Yo, that's cool. Well, technically, we got tossed out of the Smithsonian one time because I was doing some curating, and I wasn't supposed to do any curating, and we got tossed out because I was giving a good history lesson, and people were actually listening.
Why don't you just apply for the job, Jay? Just apply.
Why would I want to apply for the job to work for the man to tell me how I'm supposed to curate the people when I'm supposed to curate the people what actually is to happen? This stuff don't belong. This shit don't belong to them. And this is what I said. This shit don't belong to them. This belong to you. This belong to you. Your grandmother made this. Take it back.
Right. I feel as though unless art, any form of art, any type of artifact, unless it was handed over, donated, given permission to be on display, it does not need to be on display.
That's what I'm saying.
And that even goes to a lot of African, Egyptian, Asian art. Unless it was
shit, and like we're not taking their shit. We let them have their shit. They can have their Mona Lisa. They can have the Louvre. You know what I'm saying? They can have the Sistine Chapel. We not claiming that. But they come over here and they start taking our shit from Northern Africa, Central Africa, things like that. Even in the South, things like that was created and then call it their own, and it's not right. And then profit off it. At the same time, profit off the motherfucking shit.
I saw a black man make a comment about I think it was somebody like Leonardo da Vinci or one of these big European artists, that are known from history. And basically he described how you can watch his art evolve from the time he was 14 until he was, within his 20s, and how his art began to change because he had been exposed to African art and African sculptures. And so he was trying to imitate that 3D profile that you see in African sculptures, in African art. And he was giving his own perspective and his own, display of it through his paintings. So even though he doesn't like the artist, he can see where his influences came from. And I'm trying to remember I think it was somebody like Da Vinci or somebody like that, But ultimately he was like, once white boy got exposed to some black art, he started changing up his shit.
Oh, of course.
That's what it was in short.
So I'm gonna reverse it. I'm gonna take a urinal and I'm gonna go to the I'm gonna take a urinal and I'm gonna throw some brown paint.
I'm gonna
hang it up in the art museum and I'm gonna call it art.
Hold up, I did more research on that piece. That's actually in the art museum. The Armut with the upside down urinal. Yeah. I actually did more research on that, and apparently that kind of became one of my favorite pieces because it was supposed to be a statement about the art community, how bullshit they are, how much bullshit there are. Yeah. So like he was making a statement. This artist was making a statement basically like he was tired of seeing artists fame be plastered everywhere when they just do mediocre shit. Just like, I'm gonna put a dot in the middle of this canvas and then it's gonna sell for billions of dollars. Yeah. Or I'm gonna like throw some paint on a canvas and I must call it a masterpiece. Like he was literally like, I'm tired of this shit. Like it's bullshit.
Did you see the street artist who shredded his shit when it got to auction?
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing.
And it is sold for more after it got shredded.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a street artist in Europe, if you don't know Jay, a street artist in I believe it's Europe, has become very, very popular. But he doesn't, and he's anonymous. No one knows what he looks like. Okay. So his street art began to sell. People began to sell it. If they were able, because I think it started off with him just doing spray paints, and then he started doing like some, paperwork. I forget how, but however his art became public for people to access it, he said one day that he never wanted his art to end up in auction or end up on display in a museum. That was not the purpose of his art. Mm-hmm. Somehow one of his pieces came up for auction. It was being auctioned off. And he had set up However, he got a hold of it before it got an auction. Because I didn't read the whole. I forget the whole story. Like I read stuff sometimes, and it's like it's interesting, but then, I dismiss it. I'm on to the next thing. Nonetheless, he had rigged the shit. Why can't I get my thoughts out? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! The framing. He had rigged the framing so that it was a motor in there that would allow for the painting to start dropping, and that there were blades at the bottom of the frame, and it was going to shred the painting once it was sold. So that means everybody was like, that means that he either had to be in the auction room or he had to be in cahoots with someone in the auction room. So that once this painting was actually bought and they said, okay, that gavel went down that says, okay, sold for however, 1 million euro, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within seconds, the painting starts to drop and it starts to come out the bottom of the frame in pieces.
Damn.
And something actually happened where the motor stopped. And so only half of the picture got shredded. But the artist himself said that he had tested it out. It wasn't supposed to only shred half of it. It was supposed to shred the whole thing.
Yeah.
But like I said,
And it wound up selling for more.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what messed up the whole. This is what messed up. I think the entire art thing. And I like to say, uh, unqualified. Y'all went to the
Banksy. That's what it was. Banksy. Banksy. I'm
y'all
listening
went
to you.
y'all went to the art museum last week,
Yeah.
and you said that y'all had a conversation about art. Now, can you uh,
Yeah.
talk about that one? Because
Uh,
I wasn't there. So I wasn't there for that.
so
Because
I mean,
I think because I think art, when you talk about some of the great artists from
well, I've
Jacob
always said it like you
Jacob
said. Well,
Lawrence to you know Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Cherie Simba, all these different types of artists. You know, Frida, Jean
yeah,
Michael Basquiat,
Dali, you know,
Dali and all that stuff like that.
yeah, Picasso,
And then
you
you
know,
have these guys, and then you have these people out now. Not saying that there are people out there that's very talented, but I think it's more so before you bought art to put it in your home. But I think now people just see dollar signs and it's kind of bastardized the whole art thing. It bastardized the whole art community because now everybody's buying art to think they can resell it at a higher value. This is the
hmm
problem with NFTs. This is the problem with because the NFTs were meant to help the artists, the starving artists. That was the original goal. That was the original goal of it. The original goal was to help the starving artists. And
I've been
now,
$1,000 a month, if not.
I'm sorry.
no, no,
yeah,
you're good. And now it's not doing that anymore. I think now it's bastardized the whole art community. But what was that conversation that you guys had last week though? Just
what I
recap
like,
that.
what I because last week was like Pay What You Wish Sunday at the art museum, which is like they do it the first Sunday in the month, but they also have a Pay What You Wish every Friday after 5 p.m. or
Hmm.
5 p.m. starts at 5 p.m. Every Friday is Pay What You Wish, so you can actually get into the art museum for a nickel if you wanted to.
Hmm.
Um, but there was a piece in there which I put on my Instagram. You can probably like if you go on my Unqualified Gamer Instagram, you can see some of the things I took pictures of, and there was this
Hmm.
painting there. I'm trying to figure. I honestly forget the name of the artist, which I'm looking this up like as we're speaking.
Hmm.
But apparently, uh, it's a piece that he did in the '60s that's supposed to be representation of Greek Greek wars or something like that. But it's just basically a bunch of scribbles. Like it looked like somebody who just scribbled on their desk in elementary school. And it just to me, I'm like, it's probably just they probably put it in here because of the name, the person who did it. But let's be real, like there's no way in hell you can sit here and you can vaguely come in here and tell me that shit is art. Like there was a part in there where they literally had trash on the floor, and it was I mean it was literally like I said, it was a little exhibit with like a rope, with like a line going across.
Well, I think
And
we
let me
was
tell
at that
you,
one. The last time I was there, I don't know who that exhibit was, but remember they had it was pantyhose that was stretched from one end to the
yeah,
next, and
that,
I'm like, come on! And we had to pay, and I was at that one, and we had to
yeah,
pay what $15 extra.
no, we didn't. We
We
didn't
didn't
have to
have
pay
to pay
extra
to
for
get in
that.
there. I thought we had to
No,
pay.
no, 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 no.
Well,
We didn't
either
have to
way,
pay
it was a
extra for
waste
that.
of
No.
my damn time because that was not art. I could have done something like that and get paid as much as whoever that artist was that got paid for it.
Yeah.
But I
Nah,
would,
yeah.
but they would call that shit if I was to do
If you to do some shit like that, then yeah, you like no, like there's
it.
no way that's art. In fact, if you probably go, I'm posting one of the pictures
Don't they
up
say
on
most
the
artists
Discord.
don't get recognition for their art until they're dead?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
these
but
but these
not this
artists,
one. But
they're
this was
alive.
not. Yeah, these artists are alive, and if you just saw that, Kelly, you'd have stormed out and asked for your damn nickel back if you'd if you'd have paid what you wish, because that was a travesty that exhibit.
So I
You
put the
said it was
picture up on my
pantyhose stretched
Discord.
out.
Huh?
So I
You
put
said
the picture. Oh, go ahead.
no. You said it was pantyhose that were like stretched across
Yeah,
something.
I can't remember the name of the artist that put this in, but it was in the art museum and it was a new
Yeah.
exhibit at the time. It was about a year
No,
ago.
it wasn't a new exhibit. It was
It was
a
a roll.
traveling
It was
exhibit.
yeah, it was a rolling a traveling exhibit.
Yeah.
But one of the things that they had, it was pantyhose, and it was just stretched from one end to the next on with a white backdrop, and they had lights put it up look like it was shadows. The next one had like sand with garbage, literal garbage on the floor, beer cans, stuff like that. I was like, what the hell is this? And people are looking like and acting like they're impressed, nodding their head, doing that whole, the artsy nod, like, oh, interesting, yes. I'm like, no, it's not. Are you fucking under a spell or something like that? This shit is garbage. Literal.
The only art display I've ever seen that was actually literal garbage that was being used was a video, and it was two men pushing piles of garbage around in like a straight line. But if you paid close enough attention to the video, what the guys were doing were constantly changing time. So as they're constantly pushing the trash, it was going from 6:05 to 6:06 to 6:07 to 6:08. So it was like you're watching it and you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, why are they just pushing the piles of trash? Why he keep pushing it just a little bit and just a little bit? I was actually intrigued by that because I realized that what he was doing was imitating a clock.
Well,
Your
that's
shit.
but that
That's
right
different.
there is a form of art,
But that's a
though.
form of art because it's
Yeah.
a form of expression. There's a meaning behind it. And I understand that art is subjective, but there's sometimes that people are just, you could tell when people are just scamming and just,
Bullshit and trying to look. Oh, I can see what they meant, but no, the fuck you can't. No, you can't. You're lying.
Yeah,
There's no point to that.
like if you look on the Discord, I posted up a picture of one of the pictures that I took
wait, no, get rid of
at the art museum.
get rid of your simulation.
Let me see.
Oh, I didn't realize I was still on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you still have the
All right.
simulation up. So get rid of simulation. We closed the stream and I put
I
it
was
back
trying to
up.
share my
Yeah.
screen with the YouTube video, but I don't know if I did or not. I don't know how to work this shit.
It should be
All right.
where it says share your screen, Cal.
Yeah, I did, but when I came back to Discord to try to look for it, it was just showing like it was processing. It didn't actually
Oh,
get
okay.
show up.
Uh,
Well, show it. You can go to screen or share your screen or whatever. Or video. I
yeah,
think it's video.
but one of the pictures I put on the Discord,
Where is it?
that's it's on the Discord itself.
No, it's not yet.
No,
We
no,
don't
there's
see
nothing
it.
on there.
You
Oh
don't
no,
see
it's
it?
a look up the
Yeah.
text channels. When
Oh,
you go to text
general.
chat,
Yeah.
Oh,
text
Yeah.
testing.
channels, and it's under
Go
general.
into
That's what it is.
general. Yeah. That's right. Go into general.
You could put it in the pod chat, but it's all good. Text chat. Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
I don't.
All right.
Okay, hold.
So look up where it says. You see where it says right above where it says voice channels. Above that, it should say text channels.
Yeah, I was under the general, and I said show chat. Welcome to general. This is the start of general's channel. Let me make sure I'm in the right one.
it's it's text channels and it says general next to it. It says click on general, and it should be a thing on it. Wait a minute. Let me see. All right, I just waved you so you can try to get into it.
There's this other thing on my damn screen. I need it to go away. What the hell is this? Look, this thing got so much stuff to it.
Yeah, I just waved to you so you can try
What
to
is
get
this?
to it.
Monster junk food? What is this? I can't even read the whole thing.
Scroll down.
There it goes. Thank you. Go away. Okay. Okay. See it now.
All right,
Okay.
there you go.
What is
Yeah,
that? Oh, that's the trash spread out?
yeah, that was the exhibit, and it's
Is that
like
fruit?
Is
it
it
was just
supposed to like
that.
display a beach after you left, like when people leave a beach or something?
No, I don't know. To be honest, I was just like, so here's the thing. I walked into this room and it was just the trash on the floor. You had that line that was accusing people, hey, that's
Right,
the
just keep
exhibit.
people back.
Yeah. What gets me though,
I would ask my
and this
money
this
back.
this this is really gets me. Earlier that day, the first thing we went to was like up. It was like upstairs in the art museum where they have like the 15th century paintings of like Jesus and everything like that, right?
Yeah, and then there's
And these are like old paintings, right? So I see people like, I'm talking, their nose is almost touching the damn canvas, and security is just like,
I know
and
exactly what you
security are
mean
just
too.
looking.
I know
Yeah,
exactly what you mean too, because they like to get way up on it. Like,
they
damn,
love
dude,
getting
you
like
like,
know why that
you're
is?
licking, you're
Security's not
licking
doing nothing. It's more than likely those pictures are fake.
the replicas. They're
yeah,
trying
They're
to see if it
replicas.
was a
more,
replica or
yeah,
not. That's what they're trying to see.
more than likely
If
there
they're
might be
able to get
replicas.
that close to it, it
Yeah,
probably is.
But
but
I
no, but the
mean,
thing,
but you know how many
but the
hands touch
point,
that
yeah,
shit before, and you just
yeah,
got your
but the
nose
thing,
literally
but
like
the point I'm
crushed
trying to,
up
yeah,
against.
yeah,
I'm
but the
sorry. Go
point I'm trying
ahead.
to
Go
make
ahead.
though, the point I'm trying to make though is like security wasn't like, hey, back off, wasn't anything like that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
get to this exhibit, and this guy, now you see where the line is, right? Where the
yeah,
line is, the guy just walks up to the line and he kind of like leans over.
yeah.
I guess to kind of get a closer look at what the fuck am I looking
Oh,
at.
and you'd have thought
And
he breached. You'd
security,
have thought he breached the damn White House the
the
way they.
damn White House security was like, hey, stay back, stay back. Like I'm like,
For this shit,
I'm looking at like,
for this shit,
I mean, like
because he's just
the
trying to get
guy
it close.
goes,
He's actually
Like,
trying to
look,
get a
I'm
close
trying
look
to
to
see,
see
is that
what
a
it is.
sausage link? Is that a freaking hot dog? What is that? That's all I'm trying to see.
See, that's what it
the
is. They
guy
don't.
just
They
puts his
don't want
hands
you.
up. He's
They
like, oh,
don't want
my
you.
bad.
They don't want you
I'm
to see what.
sorry.
They don't want you to see what it is because it's bullshit to begin with. And that's
I
because
was,
and because whoever the artist is getting paid a lot of money to do this shit. So that's why they're so
yeah.
overprotective of it. But it's like this is where you need to get a closer look to see what the hell am I looking at.
The
But
fuck
see,
am I
they
looking
don't
at?
want
What?
you.
Why?
But
Why?
they've been
Why is
told.
this a thing?
The security guards has been told to be overly aggressive when it comes to that because hey, this artist is getting paid a lot of money, and we can't afford to pay for any of this shit if it gets damaged. Which
I
it
mean,
wouldn't make
but
a
it's
difference if
trash.
it what damage because it's already damaged because I don't know what the hell I'm looking at.
Like it's trash. Like it's legit trash.
Yeah,
Like legit
just
trash.
strategically placed
You know.
trash. That's it.
And like I said, overall, I like art.
No, I
I
love
do like
art,
going to the art museum.
but there's a
What is that
line.
banana? I'm looking at it like I'm trying. I blew it up as much as I can. Is that
Th-
like banana
That's what I'm saying.
peels
It's like the
and?
banana peels,
It's like bananas and apples. I guess
but there's a line,
Okay.
damn it. But there's a line.
It-
There's a line that has to be drawn from art subjective
Oh, I
and
can really
just
zoom in. Okay.
completely trying to pull one over
yeah.
on me.
But then you have this,
And
A fucking tampon.
this
What
is pulling one over on me.
and then you have another
Yeah, this is
like this one.
definitely just rotting fruit shells. Like I can see the banana peels or plantain
Yeah.
shells, or looks like an apple.
Look
Looks
like I
like
said,
an
look like an
old
apple.
baseball.
This is bullshit.
Trying to figure out what this little white thing is, though. I don't know what kind of fruit the fruit of that is. But okay.
This is what I'm
But then
talking
you have
about.
this canvas
And then you
like
get
that.
people that walk by and think this shit is cool. They're just doing it. Oh, interesting. Yes. Profound. No, it's not. Are you serious? I looked next to when that person we was at that exhibit the last time, and that
Yep.
woman turned around. She's like, "Oh yes, it's so profound." It's like, what the hell is profound about this?
It's just
It's
stockings just
sand
filled with
with a
sand.
beer can. It's sand with a beer can in the middle of it. Hey, look, I can help you out. Here,
But you
take
know
this
what?
water
Those are one of
bottle.
those moments when it's like I need this particular piece of art to have a description on the side so I can put in perspective what the artist was trying to tell me. If you just put that up there with nothing, I'm left with nothing.
No, I get what he was trying to
Yeah.
tell me. I said, no, I know what he's trying to tell me. He's trying to tell me I just took your money, motherfucker, and you can't do nothing about it. That's
Sir,
exactly what he was telling me.
sir, I just need you to
I
warn
got
me
the
when you're
message.
going to do shit like that. Because again, I'm about to.
That's what.
Coffee was to my mouth. The coffee was to my lips, and I was about to spit that shit all over my damn laptop. God damn it.
That's what that was. I knew exactly what
No,
it
I
was.
need. But I'm genuinely curious because I do like art. One of the art
Yes.
museums I love going to when I'm in DC is it's the hip hop museum in DC. I like going in there. It's a black and hip hop. I'm forgetting the actual title of it. I can look it up. I have it in my phone, but I love it because it's all black art and definitely like a lot of perspectives given. But when something is like that, I just give me where your vision was. Now, if your idea as an artist is to just let me think whatever the hell I want, okay, okay, but you're taking a chance on that
Yeah,
because now
but then
you're
you
taking
can't
a
get
chance on
mad.
me
But then
not
you can't
relating
get
to it
mad.
at all.
I get that. But yeah, I agree with you, Kel. But then
Yeah.
if you leave it up for the people to decide, but then you can't get mad and try to kick me out for giving my
Because
perspective
you
of
don't like you don't like how I'm viewing your art when you gave me no
you
basis.
gave me an
You gave
open,
me nothing to go
you
on.
gave me a blank check to think of how I want to think.
Yep.
And you can't get mad at me and want to kick me out of the exhibit because I thought that I don't get it. And it ain't because I get it, it's because look at this shit. That's like, no, I've seen
They'll be
art.
the first ones to tell you, you just don't have any vision. You have
Yeah.
no idea what the artist was. Then you tell me
Yeah, you
You
what
tell
tell
you
me.
me
You
then.
tell me
artist was
because what I
trying to
looked
do.
at downstairs, I saw about 500, 600, 700 years of art that's way better than this shit that I saw. Like then you tell me. And like I said,
Like I said,
I like art, but I think some people are some people try to use it like any aspect. I think now more than ever, they try to take the aspect and then they try to pull one over on people and call
Yeah.
themselves artists. And that does
yep.
damage to the entire community.
I feel bad for a lot of the people who do realism art because there are a lot of artists out there right now who do realism, and I mean in a sense that they can, draw your face and it looks like it's you.
Yeah.
Problem
Yeah.
is that right now that I feel like as an artist that's a saturated market, and there are a lot of people out there that can do that right now. And when I'm watching on, through social media, artists trying to sell what they have, unfortunately, as much as I love a lot of the artists, it's like I've seen that done. I've seen somebody do the beautiful black woman profile 25 times. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody do Kobe's face, and it looks like that's Kobe standing right there with sweat dripping off his forehead. But I've seen it 25 times.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no.
So what you're looking for, and I agree with you, Kel, we're looking for some good black
And
contemporary art. We're
yes,
looking for good
show me
black
something
contemporary art.
different.
And there's a lot of artists out there right now, black artists that do contemporary. But like I said, we have to. I just found this out. The Philly Art Collective down there by the waterfront is closed down, and that was a good space for a lot of black artists to sell their art. Uh, a buddy of ours, Brandon, his girlfriend had her art displayed down there about a year ago, wasn't it?
Wow.
But
The I
I
miss
just looked
it,
it up and I just looked it up and the space is closed down.
Jack Daniels
Oh,
does it.
that you
The,
told my buddy Brandon.
yeah, your buddy Brandon. Yeah,
Okay,
your
okay,
buddy
okay.
Brandon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
your buddy
Oh,
It's
dang.
Brandon.
I
And
don't know if Jack Daniels still does it. I'm about to look it up right now. Jack Daniels at one point in time was having this big art nights. They used to travel, so they would have like one night in DC. They would do DC for a weekend. They would do New York for a weekend. They tried to hit like major cities, but essentially it was like the tickets were like $5 or $10. It was real easy. They would have Jack Daniels, somebody, it's pretty much like a promotional Jack Daniels event, but essentially what they were doing was promoting artists. You could have your art on display for a weekend. That was when, like I said, you would have b-boys. They would come and perform. Let me see, Jack Daniels art. Let me see if they still do it. But unfortunately, I never saw them can't come to Philadelphia.
Yeah, but like I said, Philly had one called the Philly Art Collective, Philadelphia Art Collective, and
I
it
didn't
was
realize
down by the
they
waterfront.
closed it. They
They
closed.
closed down. Yeah, they closed it down. It's shut. It's been shut down. Because I just saw it. I was looking up into
That's
it
what it
to
was
see if
called,
they had
Art,
some
Beat,
other
and
ones.
Lyrics. So it's called Jack Daniels Art, Beats, and Lyrics. And they used to go around to different major cities and allow for artists to put their, for artists to showcase whatever it is they had going on. And so when I was talking about art, it's like I do, those are the kind of things I used to go to that I miss being a part of. And looks like now, Jack Daniels, it looks like they, COVID shut every fucking thing down.
But
So they
yeah,
do have one in New Orleans coming up. Looks like they have one in New Orleans coming up, or it passed already.
okay. And like I said,
Uh,
I'm rich in history.
they've been doing it for 17 years now. They've been doing. Damn, I'm really getting older. This is like not cool. I gotta think about it. Like, yeah, I used to do that when I was like 20, and then like, and it's like, yeah, you were doing that when you were 28. Remember, 28. Like shit. No, that was only 5 years ago. No, bitch, you're 42 years old.
Oh,
God
speaking
damn it.
speaking of that, well, wait, not speaking of that, but speaking of the art, did you hear that the African American Museum is going to be moving into the Family Court building?
I'm sorry. What?
What?
Yeah, so they're moving into a bigger space.
You
So
gonna put the black folks in family court like they not already there
no,
enough?
no, 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 no. This is actually a good thing. They're going to move into that building. The family court's no longer going to be there. They're moving out.
I was
But
So
joking.
the family court is not going to be next to the library then.
no, but the African American Museum is going to take that building over,
That's
which is
good.
good
That's
because
good real
we
estate.
have that's bigger, way bigger real estate. If you ever been to the one that's in Philly now, down on Seventh and Arch, it is
I've
completely
never been to the one. I
small.
didn't.
It's completely small and overcrowded, and it's across the street from a federal prison.
I've never been to the one here in Philly, and I'm gonna tell you because I've always been disappointed when I go to. Not always. Let me correct that. I've often been disappointed when going to a African American museum. So and I say that because I miss the contemporary modern art. I've seen since I was a kid. I have seen enough African and enslaved artifacts. I'm good. I'm good
Yeah.
on that.
Yo.
I want to see something new. So just because it's an African American museum does not mean I need to see African why am I losing? I'm sorry, I'm looking at too many different things. I don't need to see African artifacts all the damn time. I don't need to see chains and shackles all the fucking time. I'm done with that. Show me some new shit. Show me something like an artist from California that is up and coming. Let me see the recent. Like I miss seeing like the new where they always had a section for like new artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So hopefully with this new space, because if you haven't been, like I said, the one that's located now is extremely small. It's been there forever. It's been there since we were kids, and it's
But
extremely
that's the one
small.
in Baltimore too. That joint was small, hot, tight.
And what makes it worse here, though, it's directly across the street from a federal prison.
Mm.
Directly across the street. Lil Kim did her time in that prison across the street from the African American Museum. I'm serious. Can't make
I'm
this
laughing. I'm chuckling. I'm chuckling just a little bit because it. I'm
can't make
just
this shit
thinking,
up.
like, I feel you, like, it's right there. While I'm also thinking and laughing to myself, like, I think I sent you something recently on TikTok. Uh, person had posted, that they were on their rooftop at their apartment building, but in the Chicago. And it was like, it's a beautiful view. And someone was like, but people realize the guy's whole account, he's showing that I have a beautiful Chicago view. Yes, we have rooftop access and you get to sit out here and enjoy it. However, if you pan to the left, there is the infamous Chicago prison. And someone commented underneath that, like, imagine paying for that view and you have inmates who are getting the same view from their prison sentence. So you have this
Exactly.
beautiful Chicago skyline view that you're paying, paying what, $2,000 a month for,
Hmm.
Yep.
just for the prisoners over there that had the same view that you have because they have a rooftop basketball court or outdoor yard.
For three hots and a cot.
Yep. And only thing they had to do is commit a crime or get accused of committing a crime.
Three hots and
And
a
they
cot.
have the same type of view.
But being in
I
that,
mean, I'm not
but
saying
going to
prison
that
is good life.
building, like I said, but going to that building is definitely a major upgrade, and hopefully we will get that contemporary art uh, exhibits and mainstays there at the museum now, because now they'll have the space for it. Because there's a lot of good black contemporary art, and like I said, contemporary artists. Like I said, we need more into that. Like I said, into those museums. Not nothing against the Barnes Foundation, nothing against the Brandywine Workshop, or there's another one down there called Cherry Street Pier. Check that out.
Hmm.
That's a really good one. So you get a lot of
Sure.
good. That I actually I did I monitored well I coordinated cornhole league there last week, and
Yeah.
it's a really good space, really good space. And again, I was talking about that. They use shipping cans down there, Cal. So they use shipping cans inside that pier to build their offices, to build their studios, their art studios on
Mm,
both ends, the upper level and the lower level, and they all use shipping cans. Even in the beer garden where the food is being served and the beer is being served, they use shipping cans for that.
mm.
So that lets me know that the city's
I
full of
mean,
shit.
honestly, it's because we have so much material that are unused material that it needs to be repurposed. We cannot
But
just
the
keep
city's
throwing
but the
things
city
away.
let's say the city's full of shit because if we can't build a home using those same
Hmm.
materials, but yet
They can use it as a
they
business.
use the whole fucking thing as a business.
That's because they can they're taxing the business. You know,
But
you have your business tax, your liquor tax, and your
you could
food
tax the
service
home.
tax.
You could tax the home too, but it's up because we're cutting the middleman out when you try to use a shipping can or to build yourself a home for it, and then you're cutting the middleman out. The only thing you're paying for is the actual plot, and
But
the plots itself were cheap.
so, what was it? I'm forgetting your name. See, I don't know. I don't know your name. But yes, we were talking about that, and like, because I was talking about having small homes, unqualified. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were talking about that and how we can't have like a lot of other states, or if you like further in what Midwest and West and North, you can buy mini homes, and all you need to do is purchase the land, or be able to lease that land that you want to put it on, and you could purchase yourself a mini home, set up the freaking plumbing and gas or whatever, and there you go. You have yourself a nice, reasonably priced home. But how Pennsylvania will not allow you to do that, or at least within the realms of Philadelphia. And maybe if I go out to West Bumblefuck, Pennsylvania, yeah, I might be able to buy a plot of
Oh
land
yeah.
and put a mini
You can
home
go
on
out to
there.
Jim Thorpe and do it. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. You go out to Jim Thorpe,
Right.
PA. But do you really want to go two and a
No,
half hours
I'm a
out in the
black
middle
woman.
of you
I'm a
know
black woman. No, I would have to have like
the heartland of nationalists?
no, I would have to have motion. I would need roadside grade, like those roadside lights. I would need roadside grade motion sensor lights around my entire home.
Yeah, well, would it even be worth it?
Barbed
Because, like
wire
I said,
fence.
you won't get any peace.
Yeah.
And I will have to make sure that I have a gun at every doorway possible, so that if anything were to ever happen, I am defending myself. And I will not shoot outside my home. I will only shoot from the inside, so that they be like, "Well, why you shoot him? He was inside my shit. I ain't shoot out the window. I ain't shoot out the door. I shot inside."
But the good thing about that, you'll definitely have no problem with that being in PA. But I just wouldn't want to do that 2.5 hours away in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
Look, a buddy
the
of mine
heartland of nationalism. You
A buddy
know,
of mine moved from DC to Pittsburgh. Now, at the time when he did it, it was all for an artist move. Talking about artists, he's an artist. He's a tattoo artist. He's a painter. And he was just in DC at that time. This was like during when a lot of people were leaving out of the city because real estate was just getting too high. and basically the tattoo shop that he had worked at and been at for years, and the guy who even owned it, he finally had to close it because they could no longer afford to keep it open with the amount of foot traffic that they were getting, in comparison to the constant rent going up. So the owner, his name was Chris. Chris basically, after almost 20 years, had to close his tattoo shop. So Chris transitioned to just having a small studio to tattoo out of by himself, just a private studio. So my boy was trying to figure out what he was going to do, and he moved to Pittsburgh. I didn't know much about Pittsburgh, and then all the racial shit that happened a couple years after he moved there. I was so worried about him because I know Pittsburgh is a little diverse, but it's still predominantly
No, it's a little
white.
diverse, but ain't that much. Like I said,
Yeah.
And he's
I
working in a
had no
tattoo
problems
shop
with
that's
Pittsburgh
predominantly
because
white.
I was lucky to experience it when everything was shut down. Because everything in Pittsburgh kind of closes up early. So I was lucky enough to get to experience that, and not the whole thing. But like I said, nobody vacations going to Pittsburgh. Sorry, people from Pittsburgh. This is not a knock on you, but nobody vacations going to Pittsburgh.
No. I think when would I have been? Have I ever been to Pittsburgh? I've never been to Pittsburgh. I've been to Harrisburg. That's where I've been. I went to Harrisburg
Oh,
once,
that's even worse.
Yeah.
and I mean, me, and honestly, it was like a friend. This was back in my 20s. A friend had invited me to go. It was like, did I want to go with her? This, we lived in Baltimore, and this was back with club promoters and DJs and shit back in that time. And she was fucking with a DJ slash party promoter from a Baltimore radio station, and they had been commissioned to do a party in Harrisburg. And it was like, do you want to go? And I was like, sure. So we went out. The party was in a hotel, so we were able to get a room in the same hotel, and
Was
we
it a
just
Best
stayed for the
Western?
night. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I don't remember. But I do remember the hotel. I do remember thinking to myself, ain't shit out here.
Nope.
Like the hotel was on the side of a road that was like a one of those like highway access roads.
Like right off off the
Like when you're
turnpike.
going out towards
Yeah,
the where the Amish live, like it's just like
that's how
you're
that's
on a road.
Harrisburg for you people. If you know, you know. Like I said, that's
So
Harrisburg.
I just remember like we were on the road and I was like, ain't shit out here. And then suddenly you see a hotel on the side. We pull over to the hotel and that's where we were for the weekend. And it was just like, okay, cool. We
If
ate
nothing else.
there. The restaurant, it was a restaurant within like walking a quick drive over the
Hmm.
parking lot from one side to the other, get some food, come back to the room. And that was that. But I remember thinking to myself, no wonder this party is so jumping, or they commissioned him to come out here because ain't shit out here.
Ain't nothing out there.
And when I tell you people came to this party, like people came out for that fucking party. And I was just like, where did y'all come from? 'Cause
Anywhere but Harrisburg. That's where they came from. They came from Elizabethtown, Jonestown. People who know, you know. They came from all around there because they ain't shit going on but cornfield and Amish people.
and
That's
truck
it.
stops.
That's it. And pretzels and all that stuff like that. That's the only thing they have out there. But a party, like I said, or either that or they coming from the colleges. You know.
That's my son chose not to go to Susquehanna University because
Thank
when we
thank
drove out
God.
there, we drove out there. We went out there twice. That motherfucker had me drive out there twice, bro. But he was like, ultimately, he was like, I felt like I would have been bored when I wasn't in school. So if it wasn't for class or I wasn't playing lacrosse, there wouldn't have been anything else to do. And they don't allow freshmen to have cars. And I didn't have the money at the time to even get him a car as a freshman. So
So he would have to either get on the bus and then but to get to the bus station you would have to walk down about a quarter mile or two of
mhm.
straight cornfield dealing with Susquehanna
Look,
County
the
police who've
drive,
never seen
the
black people
drive
before in
out
their life.
there,
Hmm.
the drive out there was beautiful. The mountains were
Oh, it's
beautiful.
beautiful. It's beautiful out
But
there.
once we got closer to the campus, it was literally just mom and pop markets, and a truck stop and a little motel stop here and a little local market over there where they probably get their food from the Amish and the Amish sell their that kind of thing. So once you got closer to the campus, it was like you lost touch with city at all of it. So it
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, he
And like
decided
I said,
that
the
okay.
nature out there is beautiful, but it's just when you run into those crazy nationalists, that never seen black people before. And it's not the Amish. The Amish are to themselves and they're really good people. It's the other half.
I could tell some of the Amish though when they really never engaged with a black
But
person
yeah,
because
but
they
they
used to
never
come
but
in.
some of
They
them,
used
like
to
you said,
come
but
in
they
our
never
stores
really engaged.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see them coming out stores sometimes, but I realized that they were coming out there like they had worked, probably done some yard work or some housework for somebody.
Oh, they don't do no yard
Um,
work. They build. So-
okay.
oh yeah, you give them a 2x4 in an hour, they build you a whole damn house.
Well, nonetheless, they must have been doing some. Like I said, you could tell they were out there in Bala doing work for somebody
Oh, they
and
was
getting paid
building.
for
Or
that.
and not to mention
And
they're still down by the Renton Terminal too.
okay. So yeah, but actually, and it's but I feel like they stay in flea market areas like that or market areas
Oh
because
yeah,
when I was in Baltimore, Patapsco Flea Market,
that's where they
this is
make their
back in the
money.
day. I don't know what Patapsco Flea Market is like now. I have no idea. It's been like 15 years,
Look it up. Is
but
it
they
still
used to
open?
come out there and sell like they had some of the bomb ass fucking cookies, man. Like their
Well, you need to
food,
go
their
down. Well, you need to go down to the
the
Renton Terminal.
candies
I'm
and
telling
stuff
you,
they
you
used
need
to
to go.
make. Delicious, delicious.
You
But
go
the
down
what
there.
only
I'm
thing
telling
that
you.
they did that freaked me out was they used to make these dolls, and the dolls had no faces to them, and
Yeah, they
that's when
don't
I learned
believe in that.
that
Yeah, they
they
don't
don't
believe in that.
do right. They don't believe in that, and that's when I learned that about them. But I could tell that, like I said, a couple Amish guys came in, and you could tell a little bit like which ones had engaged with the woman or engaged with the black woman before or were comfortable with it, and which ones weren't. Because the ones that weren't, they almost like they barely even looked at me. Like
Mm.
their head was down the entire time. And I also understand that they have the male female separation, they try to remain holy and pure and all that stuff, so you don't really want to look at a woman and don't gaze into her eyes and but it was still a little weird for me to see that, really see a man not want to look at me or not, and I'm not making it like I'm vain, like, oh, men want to look at me. So if anyone's listening, I'm not having that idea. Just understand, I'm just talking in general. When a person just looks at you when they talk to you, and that this person doesn't want to look at you when they talk to you,
But
they keep their head down,
do you think
and
it has
you have
something
to
to
make that
do?
judgment if it's a religious thing or they're uncomfortable with the black person. Like, what is that?
No, no,
Which
no.
part?
Do you honestly think that has something to do overall with why they don't have dolls on their faces? Because when you look into it, uh, the reason why they don't put faces on their dolls is to remind them that never to think that they're better than anyone else, or a great punishment will fall upon them.
Mm. Hmm.
So it might not
I
just
thought it was
be
all about vanity. I thought it was the whole thing of not to.
well that too. But like I said, but that all goes down to the vanity part. Just say don't never to think that they're better than anyone else, or a great punishment will fall upon them. Now they are heavily religious, so they do believe
But
in
these are also the
punishment.
same people but they're also the same individuals who will read the Bible that says, people of the people, basically people that are evil will appear black and dark. So these are also, so I have to wonder at the same time how you interpret that when you read
Oh yeah.
when you're reading your Bible. Are you interpreting that people of dark skin are evil and bad? When you say, for that verse, I'm not a Bible person, but I do know that there was a verse or section that described that people who are evil and impure will appear dark.
That's where they teach the that's more for those out in the now like I said, I don't know, so I'm not speaking on the the Dutch, the Pennsylvania Dutch Amish, but I do know
Right.
that's how they think out there in Utah.
I know that's the Mormons. I know the
The
Mormons
Mormons,
think
yeah,
that
that
shit.
that's Mormon. That's Mormon. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mormon and Amish are two different things. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not, but I do know the Mormons think that
I
because
mean, yeah,
when
because you
you
have
because
different, just like you have different levels of Christianity. You have the Catholic, you have
yeah, because when you saw,
the
yeah, because they have their propaganda stuff out, and that's how you found out. Yeah, they
right.
do
So
believe
just like
that.
you have that, you have different type of Amish as well. So some people have the perception that Amish don't use technology at all. They don't, have phones and stuff, and
And
that's
those are
like
the
that's not
hardcore
necessarily
ones.
true because you have the which ones is it? Oh shit, it's on the tip of my tongue. but there is a different branch of Amish that will use some technology, when it's all within the use of, with pure intentions, if you will. So they're not going to sit back and just be scrolling online and that kind of thing. But if it's simply because I need to make a phone call to a neighbor, they will use a phone for
Well, like I
that.
said,
You know,
it's broken down. So it's pretty much like the older Amish and the newer Amish. I believe the older
right? Like
Amish
the
is called
Orthodox Jew to the
the older Amish.
conservative
I believe is
Jew.
called the Mennonites.
That's what I was trying to say. I
But
knew it
that's
started with an
Yeah.
the older Amish. And the only reason, and here's the only thing I know about the Mennonites is because I was interviewed for a job at the Mennonite school a couple years ago, and I respectfully had to turn it down.
I learned about Mennonites real
The
strangely. It's
school was
real
great.
odd how
The
I
school
learned
was
about.
awesome. The school was awesome. It was great. It was a good culture,
Is this
good
the one
everything.
that's out like up 76, 476 area?
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay.
This was about maybe 5 years ago, and I interviewed, but I
So it's
respectfully turned it
funny
down.
how I learned about Mennonites. Because my son lost his cell phone. Like he had left it with a friend. And I was tracking his phone. And I remember like when he finally got home, and I was like, "Where's your phone?" And he was like, "I left it in like I guess a friend's parent had given him a ride, and he had left it in the car." And he used someone else's phone to say, "I need my phone," but it was like he was like they had to go to church, and that they wouldn't be able to return the phone until like the next day. Long story short, when I tracked the phone to see where they were at a Mennonite church, and I was thinking to myself, "What are y'all doing there?" And I was like, what the hell kind of church is that? So I started looking it up, and I was like, oh. And this church was really off in a field. Like it was nothing around
Oh
it.
yeah, like Children of the Corn. I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying like that. See, TV disrupts everything. TV disrupts it.
Yeah.
But go
No,
ahead,
they
Kel.
do.
Go ahead, Kel. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right.
Hey,
But,
yo,
but
yo, yo, Jay.
yo,
Yo, Jay, I'm about to get out of here. 'Cause, about to play some games with our friends.
all right, cool. So we just gonna sign off. Hey Kel, we gonna have to sign off.
Hold up, what? Say what?
No, I said we about to sign off though.
Oh, that's cool. I'm debating if I'm gonna go. So somebody told me about some Caribbean wet thing that's out today. I don't know if I'm gonna go to that. I might get out the house.
All right, there you go. So get out the house, people, and also
Yeah.
sign up for archaeology. We
It's
need more
Sign
called
up for
Philly
black
Wet.
archaeology.
archaeologists. Sign up. All right.
Go
It'll
This
to
is
give you
the
something to do today. It's called Philly Wet. It's like a Caribbean carnival thing that's going on today from 2 to 10.